Hi, I'm Chris Wiley, and welcome to Truth in Conspiracy.
It's the dawn of a new era, where the poor gets poorer and the rich gets even better. More clever, down on never, written in the book, man, it's even in the letters. Still, you play this on the TV, dancing in the clubs, yeah, my beat can be deceiving. Yeah, you wanna feel me, life is what I'm teaching. It sounds very pleasing, but now you wanna hate me. Successful in escaping, retro when I'm taping. The eye they wanna make me, then they wanna take me.
Who are these Nephilim? Some say they're aliens, some say they're angels. But who are they? Many ancient books speak on these beings that we call the Nephilim. Let me tell you this story. There was a time when there were angels, or what we call celestial beings, or aliens, whatever you believe them to be. They fell from their kingdom onto this earth where we live. They saw that the human women were beautiful. They saw that they were fair. And they decided that, hey, we want to take them and have sexual intercourse. They decided that they want to procreate through something that was not natural. And they created these beings we call Nephilim. Some were 30 feet tall. Some were beasts. Some had limbs of animals and faces of humans. I mean, these beasts were almost mythological. And speaking of mythology, we look back at what they were saying. They talked about Zeus, they talked about Ares, they talked about in the Egyptian Horus, all these different gods. Just think, if you saw a 30-foot man, what would you think? But these Nephilim roamed the earth in plain sight, which led me to the story of Noah. If we look at the story of Noah, there was a God called Yahweh, who was a jealous God, who was the only God, who was the creator of all lands, all nations, all people, all things. And these people were revering these Nephilim as gods. And God decided to tell Noah, who was his own, who Noah served the Almighty Yahweh. And he says, make this boat because I am going to flood the earth and I'm going to destroy the inhabitants of this earth. So he builds this boat and he gets his family and his people into the boat. And God begins to make it rain, or with his name is Yahweh, we call him God. He begins to make it rain, it floods, and it kills off the inhabitants of the earth. But because the Nephilim were half angel and half human, their spirit beings could not enter back into heaven. So those spirits roamed through the earth aimlessly, seeking bodies to inhabit, seeking a new way to become back tangible. So anybody who allows or entertains these things and allows them to come into themselves, this is probably where conspiracy theories think possession comes from. We're possessed with these Nephilim and we're doing different things that we don't understand why we're doing them. It's because they're trying to find their way back to the heavens. These Nephilim. I had a chance to speak with a man who agreed to speak to me concerning these Nephilim. I was able to go into the tea shop that we agreed to meet and post hidden cameras throughout the tea shop. Although all the footage didn't turn out, my producers did a good job in providing this video for you. Just look at it.
A long time ago, there was a great battle. The warrior fought for his kingdom and he lost. They stripped him of his position. They banished him for eternity. And even though I can't go into the great detail of his mutiny, I feel it will be revealed to you and a few others in a very short period of time.
I'm sorry for your loss.
Not as sorry as I am for your people. You have to do everything that you can to stop what's coming.
What do you mean? What's coming?
The year is 2011. In 2012, there's been many speculations, there's been many movies made about what takes place in 2012. And believe me, even the most unlikely conspirators are closer to the truth than even your Bible scholars.
Some angels came down to teach mankind righteousness, but instead fell from grace as a result of their sinful pleasures of the flesh. These fallen angels became the hosts of giant Nephilim, who were of immense stature and terror. The Nephilim would eventually be wiped out by the flood, and a second time by King David and his mighty men. The giant beings known as the Nephilim became wandering evil spirits and the seducers of mankind. In Hebrew, they are called the Rephaim and are mentioned many times in the Bible. The Nephilim were on the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men, and they bore children to them. Those were the mighty men of old, men of renown. Genesis 6:4. The earth was filled with great terror and evil, and the blood of man cried out from the graves. The fallen angels would finally come under confinement by the power of heaven. Captured and punished by the archangel Raphael, Azazel was one of the leaders of the population of the Nephilim. He was the chief debaucher of women. His place of punishment was in Jerusalem, by the rocks of Beth Hadudah, where scapegoats were also offered for atonement. The second rebel leader alongside Azazel was Samyaza. They assembled on Mount Hermon. They had 10 generals under them, with 100 angels each at their command. These angels made an oath in defiance against the God of heaven, and they took upon themselves the daughters of man. The punishment they received at the hands of Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, and Uriel did not completely annihilate them. Samyaza and Azazel are believed to still have revealed secrets of heaven to King Solomon, while even more angels would later betray divine secrets heard from behind the curtain of heaven. As a result, fallen angels were expelled from their positions in heaven and bound in the abyss. In modern times, occultists like Aleister Crowley have opened supposed spiritual portals or stargates, releasing certain powers and deceptive spirits. Many believe that these portals have released demonic and evil influences within hell. As such, the being who came forth out of the portal that Aleister Crowley opened called himself Lamb, resembling an extraterrestrial being. The ancient Hebrews referred to the angels as B'nai Elohim, meaning the sons of God. The Bible reveals to us that these angels were present during the creation of the heavens and the earth. Although spiritual beings, they can take on the form of man. Like Jesus, when angels take on the form of flesh, they become subject to the flaws and temptations of the flesh. After the global flood, which wiped out the corruption and wickedness of the Nephilim, God sent 200 angels to earth. They descended upon Mount Hermon to teach man righteousness, but fell into sin like the original fallen ones who were cast out of heaven. These angels, like all angels, were distinct by creation, and so it was that they taught various arts to man. Samyaza, who was their leader, said unto them, I fear you will not indeed agree to do this deed, and I alone shall not pay the penalty of a great sin. And they all answered him, and said, Let us all swear an oath, and all bind ourselves by mutual imprecations not to abandon this plan, but to do this thing. Then sware they all together, and bound themselves by mutual imprecations upon it, and these are the names of their leaders. Arakiel, the angel of the earth, taught the science of nature. Kokabeel, the angel of stars, taught astrology, and Tamael taught the killing of the innocent in the womb. Azazel, another chief fallen angel who was akin to Satan, taught men the art of warfare, the making of swords, knives, shields, and coats of mail, and women the art of deception by ornamenting the body, dyeing the hair, and painting the face and the eyebrows. He also revealed to the people the secrets of witchcraft and corrupted their manners, leading them into wickedness and impurity, until at last he was bound at the Lord's command, hand and foot, by the archangel Raphael, and chained to the rough and jagged rocks of where he is to abide in utter darkness until the great day of judgment. The ancient fallen angels of the Old Testament subsequently produced a race of giants upon the earth. Tall in stature like the angels, they often stood anywhere between 10 to 30 feet in height. The Bible refers to the Nephilim most notably as Anakims, Amims, Raphaim, Avims, and Zamzumims. But God had chosen a shepherd boy by the name of David to slay the remnants of the giants, to wipe out the Nephilim from the face of the earth. The remains of these giants have been found on every continent all over the world. They are recorded and referred to by ancient Jewish sources, historians, early church fathers, native tribes, and ancient peoples. It was not until the 4th century when teachings of the fallen angels and Nephilim were abolished. There was a deviation that higher spiritual beings could not resist temptation, while monks were taking vows of celibacy. In a place called Baalbek, monolithic stone blocks can be seen. These structures are older than the Mayan and Inca temples and are so precisely fitted together. The trilithon stones are the largest solid stone blocks used in construction in the world, each weighing an estimated 1,375 tons. We have no modern-day crane or machinery that can lift anything near that weight. Thousands of these stones have been cut, quarried, and moved a mile away. Within the Baalbek ruins, many artifacts, grave sites, and tombs have been discovered as well. During the 1700s and 1900s in Europe and in the United States, the Smithsonian began massive excavations of great burial chambers. These numerous serpent mounds contained massive-sized skeleton remains of gigantic heights and proportions. Many of the burial remains contain artifacts, weapons, and armor. All throughout the world, in various countries and cultures, people have found similar burial sites. The origins of giants and beastly creatures are rooted from the fallen angels, but have been adopted and changed throughout the world's diverse cultures.